You try that on Zamasu, bad idea. It's not gonna work. Because I'm gonna go straight through your beam, man. Beam property and Key Blast property involved.
What is up, y'all? KRC Pinto here. Welcome back to Secret Sauce. Today, I've got a special guest all the way from the UK. We've got FaisalDante. Dude, how you doing today?
Yo, man, I'm good. I'm glad to be on here. And yeah, I'm having a good day. You know, got a tournament coming up later, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
chilling.
appreciate you sneaking this in before that. That's super clutch of you.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, man. I'm glad to do this with you, and I just want to get more people to understand Zamasu and how to play him.
Yeah, and it's definitely time for that because your boy Zamasu just got crazy love in this last patch. Long overdue love, and he's actually kind of mean now. How you feeling about him lately?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure, right? You remember pre-patch, people were like making fun of Zamasu. He's like trash character. He's like, why are you maining this character? And now everyone's like, damn, this character's like might be top 10 in the game. And yeah, man, he got so much love. He's got so many new buffs, and it's just such a good character now.
Yeah, man, he's crazy. I'm stoked to dig into him today. So, are you ready to, talk about the character?
Yeah, let's flip and go.
All right, let's do it. All right, dude. So let's start off nice and easy. Just give you a low ball here. So, what's your favorite move of Zamasu's and why?
My favorite move, it's definitely gotta be Wall of Light. This move right here, where he brings out the orbs out, they stay out for a while, right? And then he shouts Owari Dana. This one move is the whole reason that I picked up Zamasu. Just look how cool it is.
Just
I
for
mean,
the
it's basically,
looks?
yeah, man. I mean, the reasoning is that, I mean, thinking about game-wise, though, it's basically kind of your own second assist. Like, not a lot of other characters have something like this, like, maybe Cyberman or something. But this is basically kind of like that.
How
But I
long
mean, it
did it
just looks
take
so
you to?
sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, so that's fine, yeah. I just said it looks so sick, man.
How long did it take you to like master the timing of that move? I feel like that's like a weird element for not weird, but
Hmm,
like unique to him that other characters don't have. Is like to make use of
true.
that move, you have to know when it's gonna ignite.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's just something that comes with practice. I've played Zamasu for so long now, and I've had so many hours in the lab that you just know what type of combos will work here. You have the light orbs, which come out faster, but then you have the medium orbs that takes longer, and you just, practice the combo over and over until it becomes muscle memory. Then he has the H versions. But yeah, that is my favorite move
All right,
for sure.
so let's zoom to like the team game plan.
Yep.
So obviously Dragon Ball FighterZ is a team game. You have to have 3 characters. Where do you think Zamasu fits best on a team right now?
So Zamasu fits best on mid or point. The reason I think mid is because the level 3, you can Z change into his level 3, and he has really good Oki in the corner off of his level 3, and easy pressure from his Wall of Light. And in the past seasons, Zamasu really struggled to get in on point. And even right now, at round start 99 seconds, when the game begins, he doesn't really have the best options. He has this move at round start. You can fly away. But if you want to play offensive on round start, you can struggle with that. But as long as you can get away from round start, Zamasu's a decent point character. So I'd maybe say mid is the best point for the best placement for Zamasu to play in mid.
Interesting. I definitely would have considered him a point character, just the way people have been playing him lately. But it
Mm.
does make sense that like just bringing him in with the knockdown so he can start mixing is ideal.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. But I mean if you want to play a defensive round start, for example, just flying away, then that's good. But a lot of the time when you're fighting like a Bardock or a rush down heavy round start character like them, then you're gonna struggle round start, and you might just lose your character at the beginning because if you get touched once, you're gonna get into an okay, and then you have to guess, right? So
Yeah, true.
that's a big struggle with Zamasu around start for sure. But I wouldn't really put him in anchor position. I would only say mid or point.
Do you think he needs assists to kind of thrive?
For sure, yeah. Definitely he had some buffs now in the recent patch which allowed him to play more solo than before, but he still does require his assists, to be honest, to extend his combos, to play the neutral a bit better, so I would still say that, yeah, you would need assists.
What assist do you run with him? Do you have like a personal favorite? Do you think it's his best assist? What's the approach there?
Well, right here I'm playing Yamcha, I just was because Zamasu really struggled with the neutral in the previous patch. You had to rely on super dash a lot in the recent in the last patches, but now you don't have to do as much. So to be honest, Zamasu will work with a lot more assist than before. He now has this flight dash, which you can bring out your assist to instantly pressure your opponents from full screen. He has this move, and if you want to pressure them with an assist, I don't really have a favorite. I'd say this team that I'm playing right now really doesn't have, aren't the best assists for Zamasu anymore. I would say the best assists for Zamasu probably are Jaren A assist, really strong assist. You have Baby B assist, very strong for Zamasu, and yeah, Gotenks is also really strong assist.
So like with the Baby and Gotenks, those both like hit aerial. Do you think that's like a nice thing for him right now?
Yeah, I think one thing that was really strong for Zamasu is having a long block stun assist and an assist that can lock you down. So a lockdown plus a block stun and a lockdown assist. Because a full screen one, like for example, I remember when Bardock B used to hit full screen. This was like Zamasu's best assist in the game, but then they nerfed Bardock B so it doesn't go full screen anymore, which means you cannot get full lockdown, full screen lockdown. So I don't really put Bardock B as a good assist for Zamasu anymore. But examples are, as mentioned, Jaren A goes about half screen and it's really good lockdown. Or the reason I mentioned Baby B is because it goes full screen and it's got decent block stun. It's a lockdown assist as well. So if you have an assist that's lockdown and a block stun assist, then it's really good for Zamasu.
What about the assist you run like on Zamasu, like the assist you pick of his? Which one do you run?
I run Zamasu A assist. I think it's his best assist. Pre-patch it was really good. But they buffed it in this recent patch. Let me show you. We'll put on the numbers for you guys. You want to see this numbers? There we go.
Everybody loves frame data.
Yep. So you can see here the startup 43 frames and the blocks. And look at the frame advantage. You can see here the frame advantage. That is 30 frames of block stun. Now before, I think this was about 23, 24 frames of block stun. So they buffed it in the recent patch, and they didn't have to do it because this assist was already really good. So, when this assist used to hit you, right? Look at the amount of hit stun you have. Look at that hit stun that you just have. You can just so long. But they were like, nah, we're gonna buff the block stun as well for no reason. So yeah, this assist is like an amazing assist. Maybe top 10 in the game, I'd say.
Wow. Yeah, that frame data is crazy. I saw, I think, 42 on the hit stun. Oh, it keeps going. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really, really good. And the height, the height of the beam is really good. You can follow it. One thing really good to do with this assist is, you call it full screen, and then you follow it. So, if they super dash you, they're just going to get hit by the beam. So that's a really good tactic in neutral.
All right, let's move on to actually, like, game plan stuff for Zamasu. So, all right, so let's talk about his neutral game. So, this is a game where people are vying for space with crazy projectiles and stuff. You got to close the gap. How do you do that with Zamasu? What's your game plan?
Oh, the game plan with Zamasu is his flight, right? Because they buffed his flight, they made it much faster. You go like double the speed. The length of time that you can fly is also double the amount of time. And he has a frame 1 invincible dash. So your game plan is going to be mainly in flight mode to stall them out, right? When they spark, you're going to want to stall them out there to play it slow. When you're in the lead, let's say a 3v2 lead, you can play it slow as well. And you can use that flight dash to your advantage. You want to use his jumping S, is really strong. And that can be cancelled into his flight dash as well, so this is really good. That's one of his maybe best tool. Now, his 5S recently got buffed as well, which means it hits crouchers. So this is not something that I used to do, but something I'm going to have to get used to doing, because this is a thing now.
The meme is over.
So you probably want to do this, something like this, which you can cancel into his move. But yeah, his jumping S really strong, flight is really strong too, neutral. This is really good to get in, something like that. You want to use his flight dashes now for a neutral tool. And yeah, those are the main tools that you use. You can mainly throw out Wall of Light as well, to bring, before you come in, let's say for example, you want to rush in, you want to just be a bit more safe, you can bring it out with you if you're approaching your opponent.
The move that is his assist that you chose, is it 236S, I think?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, do you find that useful in neutral often?
I don't really throw this out, no. It's very slow, as you can see, 40 frames, it's very slow. And the opponent can actually like hurt you doing this. No harm in doing it in flight though, because it's faster. You can see 34 frames, and you can teleport from it. So this move is very useful, but only in flight. Don't really do this on the ground because it's very vulnerable on the floor compared to the flight.
Gotcha. Zamasu's normals. So I feel like he has decent range on a lot of stuff because he adds the little sword onto his hand. What do you like to do, like, as kind of your pokes in a neutral situation? Say you're like, a dash away. Do you have stuff that you use to kind of challenge?
For sure, yeah. I mean, Zamasu's 5M. Look at the startup, 10 frames, and they go so far. They buffed it. Like a lot of characters, they buffed them, but a lot of time when I'm near my opponent at this range, I'm going to throw out the 5M and his 5L. One of really strong stagger too. Really strong 5L. So 5L and 5M I use a lot. I don't really use his 2M, 2L a lot more. 5M when I'm at that range. These two buttons, I use these a lot.
Gotcha. Cool. Alright, anything else that's important to know about his neutral?
Yeah, I mean, with the flight buff, make sure to use his flight a lot more. I know that a lot of people are just picking up Zamasu, but they're not really using his flight as they should be doing. Like, for example, throwing out Ki Blast while jumping. It's a bad idea, because you're vulnerable if they super dash you. But if you do it in flight, then, you can instantly dash away. So just make sure you're in flight. In the air, then you're doing the right thing. If you're in the air and you're not in flight, you're probably playing wrong, to be honest.
Always be flying.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm so glad they upgraded that. That needed like something.
For sure, yeah.
Like
I mean, like before
ahead.
when Zamasu was playing neutral, this was so common. Like this would happen all the time, and like, you can't really do anything, right? Because you have that recovery, right? You could do like a level 3, right? And then he has that annoying thing where it whiffs as well, the level 3, so it's inconsistent, and you're wasting 3 bars for a super dash. But now you have this, it's like so strong, It's like frame 1 invincible, and now Zamasu can finally counter super dash. It's not something that he could do before, but this one thing is just so powerful for his neutral. This is like one of the most powerful things. This is why I'm saying you should be in flight for this. This is the main reason to counter super dash. And so that's why I'm not seeing enough people go on flight, and you should be staying in flight with Zamasu for your neutral.
I definitely didn't realize the dash was completely invincible either. That's wild.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's frame 1 invincible, which means that, you can throw it out last second. I'm just trying to do it as late as possible just to show you. A bit too late there. But yeah, as you can see, the last second. The thing is, if you do it early, it won't work because it's frame 1 invo. Oh, it still works, delaying it. Yeah. It's really strong.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The only thing about this is that you cannot get a punish on them if you do it. So, if I want to punish their super dash, there's no way for me to do it. But I feel like me resetting the neutral situation, it's strong enough, where I do not need to damage them. I feel like that buff, I'm happy with it. I think maybe asking for a punish with that is asking for a bit too much.
Right.
Yeah, but no, that's really strong.
Let's talk about what I think a lot of people are considering the fun part right now. Let's talk about pressure and mix-ups. So,
Okay.
Zamasu, at the moment, he's kind of, seems like he's got a little solid game plan there with his new air dash. I've seen a lot of people do some crazy setups that, I'm not blocking.
Sure.
What are you doing these days to make people sweat when they're blocking?
So he has like new OK that I've found out myself. A lot of people have been using this OK. But basically, you want to do Kala's Wall of Light Orbs, which is 214L, and then you hold X to fly, and then he will do that, and then you go down slightly, and then you just do his 236S while in flight mode. And you get a free mix-up. That's really strong too. You put them on guard out just to show you. Really good OK that I found out here. Then you can mix them up like that. Covers all text because the dash will still come out even if this move whiffs. So if they down tech, you still get your ID on them and they still get hit from it. So you'll cover up tech, back tech, and down tech. Really strong for his OK. Even in neutral, just to throw out this move is like crazy strong. Like for example, just like that. As you can see, I'm already in just by throwing out that one move. It's kind of like a lariat. Like imagine you're doing Bardock lariat. Like kind of like the same thing if you think about it, right? It's like a skip neutral tool, basically. I'm not really working hard to get here. I'm just dashing in. This is the sort of way I'll get in. Very strong off of Ki Blast. And yeah, that's how I'm mainly getting. JS really strong. 5S to 236M really good right here to space the gap. And in pressure, if you're wondering maybe for mix-ups, now this is something that I like to do. I'm not sure if a lot of other Zamashus will do this, but it's something personal to me, is that I will always do Wall of Light. Like this. I will always do something like that, and I'll make sure the block string is true. The reason for that is you can see guard first only. If there's a gap, they will get hit, right? I always like to have true block strings because I just like to keep my pressure tight. Just something personal to me. As you can see, that's all true block string, and I get a 50 tick row here, 50-50 tick row. Really strong. Or you can go low. Same thing with Yamcha. You can just go 2M, 5M, 236L, true block string. So again, you know, they cannot reflect or anything. And then I just continue my pressure on. Again, like to keep it tight. There are new mix-ups that are found in Zamasu. They're not as tight, so they do have gaps in them. So, you know, be aware of that. I'll show you these one with gaps in them. Oops. You can see he has a cross-up, but he has same side as well. Oops, if I can get it here. So that's a cross-up right there. And then he has the same side. Like that. So he has that kind of stuff. He also has some crazy, like, you know, let me just say this. He has some like left, right shenanigans. Kind of crazy. I'll see if I can get it here.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I've been seeing a lot of, is people using the air dash like in your face to kind of set up like these really devious left-right situations, because it all happens so fast.
For sure. Kind of like that. So you imagine you're doing the EX slicer, you go here and then back to the other side, right?
Oh god.
Like that. As you mainly have it with like Kid Buu assist, but as you can see.
Yeah, you need like some pretty serious lockdown to enable that.
Yeah. Definitely he still uses EX for mix-up. Very strong. Now that he has the dash, you can maybe implement the dash. That's really strong.
Yeah, that's super scary.
Yeah, but for me, I like to keep it tight with orbs. Just something that's personal to me. That's something that I like to do. And you might not notice that a lot of other masters do not do this, but it's just something that I prefer to do myself.
And then just to highlight the perk of the Wall of Light orbs here for people who might not play Zamasu or know, those go off on a timer. You don't have to do anything, so that completely resets your pressure, correct?
Exactly, yeah. So there's a specific timer. I don't know the exact amount of seconds. I'm not that nerdy. I'm kidding on. I don't actually know the amount of seconds that this explodes in, but this is very strong for pressure and for combos. For pressure, you mainly want to go for the light version. Because the medium version has slightly more startup than the light version, and it's very hard to keep it tight with the medium version, and it explodes after a long time, you know. So, you know, unless you want to go for these long block strings, that can work. But quick block strings, you know, you can mix up with light orbs really strong. We'll go off a timer. This is just something that will come in muscle memory. You know, there's so many different combinations that you can trigger. For example, you can do 5LL, 6M, which is very common. You can do 2M, 5M, 236L, which will explode. Or you can do something like this. It's just something, again, that comes with practice. You're not going to know that straight away. It's something that you need to practice, understand when the wall of light will explode, when you press a specific button, and then, you know, you'll get more used to it. For example, very common right here is to go for that instant air dash mix-up, because the timing is perfect where you can get the mix-up into 2M or the throw to catch them jumping, or for the grab if they stand still.
He's got to be the only character in the game that can set up his own auto combo tick throw, right?
I don't think so. I think a lot of other characters can do it. I think Janemba can. I think so, yeah. I'm not 100%. I don't want to say that because I'm not 100% sure about that. But I think there might be another character who can do that.
Huh. I can't think of him. That's crazy, though. I mean, that's like...
It is crazy, yeah.
You can't deal with that. You're getting grabbed. That's tough.
No, for sure, yeah. You mean you can do delayed jump, but then, you know, if I catch my 2M timing to your jump, then, you know, you will get catched because you cannot block on the frames of your jumping. So
in a TOD
you'll get
if
smoked.
you jump there.
Oh yeah, you do not want to get hit by a Zamasu 2M, yeah. Let's just say you're not gonna have a good day.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that's major in his pressure and mix-ups that someone picking up the character should know?
You know, try to use his orbs more. A lot of new Zamasu players might just do something like this, you know, which is fine. You know, they'll do this into maybe an instant air dash. But implementing the orbs is very important because it just adds a different layer to your game plan. That, you know, without orbs, it's just not the same. So it just really mixes it up and it keeps your opponent guessing. So just make sure to implement orbs. I don't see enough Zamasus implementing orbs and block strings. It's really important.
All right, so we talked about Oki a little bit. We talked about the setup you've been using right now. Is there anything else to know about Zamasu's Oki? Do you have like any mid-screen situations you like?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Zamasu has a really strong Blades of Judgment Oki as well. You need to spend one bar from it, but what's really strong about this is that it resets both of your assists, right? For example, I'll use both of these assists, and you know they need to recover these assists. You can go for the regular OK, which is fine, but then you know you won't have any assists to mix them up. As you can see, they're not back. But if you go for Blades of Judgment OK here, you get a free 50-50, guard first only. And your assists reset. So we can show you guys by taking off the quick recovery on the cooldown here. Oops, probably edit that out. You probably edited it out while I'm trying to get this.
No worries.
Yeah. Oh, what's the timing on that? Huh. Okay, there we go. So, you can see my assists are not here. Now I just go for Blades of Judgment, and I go for my mix-up. This is the high version, true block string, and then my assists are back for either a mix-up, or they're back for a combo. Same thing for the low version. I'm gonna go low now. Same type of thing. I have my assists back, and then I get free pressure right here with my assists, or a combo.
So this is the kind of Oki I've seen a lot of people go for in matches over the past like month or so. Typically, what ends up happening at the high level is I see a lot of people reflecting the Blades of Judgment, but it also seems more often than not that it doesn't matter at all that they reflected the Blades of Judgment. Does it matter if they wake up reflect that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the best option that you want to do against Blades of Judgment, is you want to reflect it on wake up. But a lot of people won't do that, so I mean I can go into more detail as sort of keeping it basic, but if we want to go into more detail here, if you basically up-tech the Blaze of Judgment, you get 50-50, so there's nothing you can do except spark, or you basically die if you don't spark. So you should never really up-tech Blaze of Judgment, okay? Now the best thing to do is either down-tech or back-tech, and both of those options make sure to reflect. Even though I'm going for this safe jump, after the Blaze of Judgment, the instant air dash jumping medium is a safe jump to dragon punches. So meaning if you DP, you're not going to hit me. I'm going to block that. And the low version can get DP'd, so be aware of that. It's not a safe jump. But then again, they have to guess between the 50-50 RPS there. So for example, there's a lot of things that can happen, meaning you know they can reflect the blaze but they stop reflecting and then they block the high, or they can DP you invincible super, or they can continue reflecting, right? Because they'll reflect the blades and then they'll reflect your high as well. So that's like the rock paper scissors there, is that are they going to reflect, you know, what are they going to do? So that's just something that comes with this, okay? But it's really strong for one bar. Since it resets your assist, it's very strong.
Right. Damn. Yeah.
I mean, that's a very. I mean, you see like other Zamasu players using it as well. Like Ropus, he's always using it. He stole it from me, but a lot of. I mean, most of the tech Ropus does. He steals it from me. but yeah, you'll see a lot of Zamasu players doing it. That's just a really good Oki.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other devious Oki setups that people should know about?
So the one that we talked about here is really strong for the new buff. you do something like that. Really strong on his mix-up. I guess we can talk about his M-Slicer flight, okay? So basically what this means is... I can show you. Look at the frame advantage. Oops, I messed it up. Okay, look at the frame advantage. You're at plus 96 frames, and that's just a basic Oki, so you have a lot of plus frames here. Because of the dash implementation, he has even more plus frames on his Oki now. And when you do that slicer forward, it says 236M, but you make sure you do it in flight mode, because it only works in flight. It's really good for Oki, and you can basically do whatever you want. I mean, 96 frames, what's that, like a minute, like a second? Nearly 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Because 120 frames will be 2 seconds. So you have a lot of time, man. So, for example, you can go for that same Oki we mentioned earlier. Remember? Same Oki that we did there. Really strong. And yeah, that's a very nice Oki.
That's the same knockdown that lets you combo into Blades of Judgment, right?
Yeah, you can do it. There's different variations now because, you know, they give him the flight dash. Before there was only like one Blades of Judgment combo, but now there's like 5 of them, and people are finding more and more optimal ones, so it's sick. But that is a one-ender, yeah, we can show you. This is one of the common enders right here. Like that.
Yeah.
That can work, it's very strong. Before this was like the one that everyone used to do. You do orbs, and then you do it on the ground. But now that they give him the dash, right, he has more stuff he can do. So it's really sick that all the Zamasu players are finding, you know, more optimal stuff. But there's different routes that you can go for now, which is, you know, really sick.
Damn. Yeah, this character's so cool right now. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Let's talk about the not fun part. So, this is a fighting game. You get to do a lot of cool stuff, and then sometimes you also have to block. So, how is Zamasu on defense? Does he have any good tools to help him on defense? How do you approach, like, just, you know, dealing with opponent's pressure?
Okay, so first of all, Zamasu is slightly taller than your average person, so, you know, in the past seasons he was susceptible to fuzzies, you know, which he isn't anymore. But, you know, still being tall, you know, meaning that his hitbox is bigger, which means he's probably going to get hit more easier, being very tall in general, from such as instant air dashes, that sort of thing. So, you know, there's that factor there to take into account. Secondly, on defense, yeah, he's pretty decent on defense. You know, they buffed his jumping light, which means they added more active frames to jumping light, and it has more recovery. But, you know, with the buffed active frames, that means on defense, if they're going to super dash you, you know, your jumping light is going to be much easier to punish it than before, because again, they buffed the active frames on this. As you can see, I'm just like pressing it. I'm not even timing it. They buffed it really well, so you don't even have to time it. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say Piccolo jumping light, but you can see right here how effective that is. I've not even missed it once.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty wild.
Yeah, they buffed it, and again, it was not that good last patch, but that's really good on defense to, again, instant air-to-air his super dashes coming to you on defense. On defense, again, taller height, so that can be a count here. He, again, on defense has a really good 2H. They buffed this 2H again, so what they buffed, first of all, is the range of it. It has more horizontal range. And, sorry, it's more active as well. More horizontal range, and it's more active. But the main thing that they've done about this 2H is that they made it Ki Blast Invo, right? So, someone's going to Ki Blast you. Usually you'd lose. So we can give some examples here. Let me show you this example right here. So as you can see, I've set up Vegito to a very common recording here. Very common for Vegito players to do cross-up. They'll call it assist, right? And then you have to guess, are they going to go left or right, right? Now, if you're a normal player like Bardock, and I'm just going to 2H, that's a wrong decision, because I'm just going to get smoked. As you can see, the start of my 2H can be seen. And then boom, I get smoked. Now, if I'm Zamasu, they buffed his 2H so that it now has Ki Blast Invul. What that means is any Ki Blast move, JS, is going to get beat. Oh, by the way, not Ki Blast, also Beam Property. A Beam Property will also lose. So let me show you right here. Yeah, smoke this right here. That's nothing. And I'll show you base Goku as well, by the way. Do you know how common this is for people to do this? How common that is? That does not work on Zamasu, because he can just 2H you. Now let's give you another example again with Bardock, right? Who remembers this? Oops.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not 2Hitching that. You get smoked. Now, let me show you this with Zamasu. You try that on Zamasu, bad idea. It's not gonna work. Because I'm gonna go straight through your beam, man. Beam property and Ki Blast property invo. So yeah, it's really, really good.
That's wild.
That's his defense. So I would say he's pretty strong on defense. Apart from his height, good JL, good 2H, and good 5M for after reflecting. You know, you can do something like a very strong 5M being 10 frames. You know, very strong. So yeah, his defense is pretty decent.
Damn, dude. Zamasu's about to be the France Slayer. I can't get over it.
Oh yeah, I mean everyone's picking up the Vegito, so you know if you want a Vegito counter, you know Zamasu not looking like a bad option.
Yeah,
It
not
may
terrible.
not be a bad option if you want to beat the French with their Vegitos, man.
Alright, man. Next question's my last question. Before we go to that, is there anything we
Sure.
haven't talked about Zamasu that you think people should know about or that you want to add in?
Well, one thing I will touch on is his level 3, which is a very common thing used to happen before, is that somebody would super dash you, and you level 3 their super dash. You know that's very common with a lot of characters. Now remember that Zamasu's level 3 they've not buffed it. It still has really bad tracking. Now what this means is that if someone super dashes you, be aware that your level 3 may whiff. And so this was recently not fixed. So just keep that in mind as a Zamasu player. As you can see, the super dash just completely went past me. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about that, so be aware if you're gonna level 3 super dashes that, you know, make sure you're understanding that might whiff with Zamasu. That's something that's very important, because as a Zamasu main for like over 2 years, that's happened to me so many times. So just keep that in mind.
Do you... Alright, just because this character's so cool right now, do you have any like super saucy combos that you've been working on that you can show us?
Yeah, I mean he's got the new dash, right? So he's got some sick new combos with the dash. Let me see what I can cook up with the dash.
There it is. Oh! I wasn't expecting that. I was looking for the Kaioken.
There we go.
That was sick.
Cheers, man, finally.
Alright, man. If someone came to you tomorrow and said, hey, I'm thinking about playing Zamasu. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What would you say to them to push them over the fence? Why should someone play Zamasu in Season 4-ish of Dragon Ball FighterZ?
Okay. Well, I mean, first of all, you know, everyone's hype about him. You know, with the buffs here, there's so much new tech being delivered. The Discord is so active. So if you want to play Zamasu and want to learn, you'll actually get help in the Discord. You'll actually have people who are willing to go ahead and find optimal combos for your team. So, you know, you won't be alone picking up Zamasu. It's a really good community. Second of all, he has really good buffs in the season, which, you know, he didn't have before. He struggled with neutral, which he doesn't really struggle as much with the buff 5S, with his new flight dash, which can beat super dash now, so you don't have to worry about super dash. So he isn't really a character like, damn, this guy's neutral sucks, I'm not going to play him. So that really isn't an excuse to not play him now, because his neutral is good. And so if you want to play Zamasu, man, you know, his moves are sick. Look at that, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. The sound of his blades, come on, you can't tell me that's not sick. The sound that the blades make.
I'm going to have to put it over top on this part because we can't hear it on this side.
Oh, alright, yeah.
But I'll add it.
Look
But
at the
I
sound
know
of
it. I
that.
hear it in my head. It's like lightsaber
I mean,
sounds. It's the best.
Yo, who else in the game can fly though? Like, come on, he can fly, and the fly's actually good now. Like, they buffed it. I mean, like, who's gonna stall out Spark except Zamasu, right? If you're like scared of Spark, or you're like, damn, I hate Spark, I'm always losing to Spark, bro, you can literally just play Zamasu and you'll never get hit by Spark again, because you're just gonna lame them out. And if they try to air you or super dash, you have a frame 1 invulnerable move to just run away from there. You get me? So I mean, like, yeah, this character is like, you know, if you Spark, you wasted your Spark. If you Spark versus Zamasu,
Points
he's
well
the ultimate
made.
counter. Yeah, man.
All right, man. That's sick. I'm so glad this character finally gets to play the game. I'm happy for you. You get to thrive. It's good stuff, man. That's all I've got
Yeah.
for you today. Thanks for taking the time, and stoked to see how you do in your tournament later.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, man. I'm glad to be on here. Had a great time, man. And yeah, wish me luck in the tournament. Hope I do well.